My name is Steve Lyon. I am a cultural anthropologist with a specialization in really conflict and resource management. Anthropology as a discipline is a little bit hard to pin down because anthropologists look at the physical aspects of humans, they look at the cultural aspects, the social aspects, and we look at non-humans. We're very interested in our non-human nearest relatives, so primates and hominids that are long dead. All of that makes it a discipline that's just a little bit hard to pigeonhole. We're both very scientific and we're very much a humanistic study. So Eric Wolf said that we are the most humanistic of the sciences and the most scientific of the humanities. The courses that we offer here in Aga Khan University's Faculty of the Arts and Sciences are geared around our majors. So we have, just a straightforward introduction to anthropology, which gives people that kind of growth of the discipline, the intellectual growth of the discipline, the methodological growth of the discipline. So you would learn, for example, my intellectual genealogy goes back to Evans Pritchard. So my teacher, my supervisor was a student of Schuyler Jones, who was a student of Evans Pritchard. And he's one of the big shots of anthropology, of the British structural functionalist school. So everyone who would be taught by me will be getting a little bit of that structural functionalism pushed into them, however unconscious it might be. But we also want to make sure that students aren't inducted into a paradigm or into a school of anthropology, but understand the breadth of it. So we'll also be teaching the cultural anthropology school that comes from Boaz, right? So we have a number of different trajectories that all lead to the very rich and diverse field that is anthropology today. We also, of course, have four majors, and anthropology feeds into all of those four majors. So our Asian and Middle Eastern studies will have more of the cultural anthropology, the kind of literature and filmic representations, public culture. Those aspects of anthropology will feature fairly prominently in our Asian and Middle Eastern studies. Human environmental biology, well, this semester we're teaching environmental anthropology, which is the anthropology that stems from Julian Stewart and cultural ecology. It's that kind of recognition that humans are part of ecosystems. They impact human ecosystems, and they are in turn impacted by ecosystems. They are part of it. They're not separable from it. So that's what the environmental anthropology course is doing. Within philosophy, politics, economics, that major, well, that's right up my alley because my research has long been about local conflict, local politics, local management. My 2019 book was all about how important political marriages are to the electoral politics of Pakistan. So the state politics of Pakistan, in a sense, I'm saying we can understand better if we understand village politics. So I spent a lot of time in a village in northern Punjab. I use what I learned there to help me understand how the National Assembly operates and why the electoral kind of results turn out the way they do. So that is a political anthropology. In the social development studies, well, one of the other hats I have worn for many years is a development anthropologist, because I believe that when you understand local communities better, you can intervene more effectively. So this could be for empowerment of marginalized populations. It could be for stimulation of economic opportunities. It could be for more sustainable agriculture or primary food production. And there you bring in development anthropology or applied anthropology. So we will be also having an applied anthropology course in subsequent years. So that would be the upper level years. Here in the Aga Khan Faculty of Arts and Sciences Library, what we're aiming to do is to provide a kind of a hard copy collection, so the books here on the shelves, which gives students that opportunity to read something in person. But online, we have a huge collection with the Human Relations Area files, with all of our journal collections, repositories, with all of the book collections that we've got. All of that really is critical for providing that breadth that we need for anthropology. As I say, it's way over on the scientific side where we have molecular anthropology that looks at, trajectories of human populations over time through DNA, right over to the cultural studies end of anthropology that's looking at Bollywood and Qawwali and the kind of popular representations that we can use to help us understand culture and society better. One of the things that we are really focusing on is our electronic collection. That's huge. That has to be huge because that's how most people consume their literature these days, right? I do still read books in hard copy form, but most of the time I read things on a screen. So we have to have an extensive collection that is online through the databases and through our online portal. Now, We also recognize that publishing things in paper is vital. And so an awful lot of the literature we're going to have here on our stacks that people can come in, they can check out the book, they can read it, they can take it home. And that's still of value because there are times when we have to get off the screen. There's also literature that isn't really available online, because one of the things that AKU does not do is violate copyright law. We don't just get copies of something because we can. We have to have a legitimate copy of it. Some of the literature published that is very interesting for anthropology isn't available legitimately online. So we buy the hard copy, we make sure the hard copy is available on our stacks, and when we can get a legal digitized version, then we will provide that version. But we do not at any point violate our copyright obligations just for a short-term convenience. I think our library is going to be one of the premier arts and sciences libraries in Pakistan within a very short time. I think 3 to 5 years, we're going to be looking at one of the best libraries in Pakistan. As an anthropologist, I'm hoping that this really means it will be one of the best anthropology libraries throughout the entire country, possibly even throughout the region, though that might be a stretch because there are some very good anthropology libraries in the region.